I think of Grace Knight, who's my special guest right now. Hello, Grace.
Hello, Liz, how are you?
You brought your voice with you too.
Yes, just when he wakes up.
Last time we had you here, you were almost hoarse because you just finished a tour and you're in the middle of another tour.
I know, I'm in the middle of another one. I've only got another 3 dates to go, so I'm hanging in.
Right, well, you're at the Basement tonight and tomorrow night, aren't you?
Yes, and then St George League's on Friday night.
Terrific. Well, it's nice of you to grace us with your presence. I had to use that. But because you have a lot of fans in the city, mainly due to the fact I keep playing your CD.
Thank you.
However, I want to talk some more with you, and I'm going to give the listeners a chance to talk to you today if they have any questions for you on 269-8669, but I get first go, you see. First of all, I've seen you perform, and when we spoke last, I'd only known you from your recorded work, and you are a very sensual performer, Grace Knight, aren't
really?
you?
I tend not to, look, I'll get sort of bogged down by them, so I don't tend to, look at anything I do.
But you have a remarkable stage presence. And I'd like, well, no, you do, and naturally I'm not the first to say that, but when I watched you, I couldn't help but get the feeling that this was so sensational. It was almost like watching an emerging Billie Holiday, except you're white, I guess.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for that. I never considered myself a singer until fairly recently in my career, and it was only when I kind of caressed the fact that this is actually a gift. I do believe that we all have gifts, whether that be writing, whether it be accounting, a gift I would love to have, or whether it be singing. It's something that we all are given to give back out, and that's my only reason for doing this, is that I want to give hope to those that need it.
You make some wonderful statements from the stage, which obviously get the female members of the audience very much on side, and that's to do with relationships. Is that deliberate, or is it just evolved that way?
It's kind of just evolved that way, and people kind of say, oh God, Grace Knight, she's a man-hater. I'm not a man-hater.
Oh, I didn't get that impression.
No. I love men. I love them very much. I'm not a man-hater, but us women, for the last 2,000 years, and I do believe that within myself I have been privy to that 2,000 years of, and when I say abuse, I don't mean abuse, intentional abuse, but our language has words which I'm sure that men and women don't realise the effect of those words. So as women, we've been carrying the effect of being downtrodden just through our language, which I might add men created. So really on the hour and a half that I'm on stage, I'm just giving myself and women the opportunity to say, guys, we're going to pay out on you tonight, but it's going to be done with love, and it's going to be fun. And I must admit that, the majority of the men sit and laugh as well, because it's true.
Well, it's done with humour, but I hope you don't mean you're going to quibble over terms. We're not going to get into that sort of gender debate,
well, you see, quibble is really trivialising it, and it's not a trivial thing. And I have to say this because if you look,
we're going to fight from the start, are we?
No, this is not a fight, but I do want you to understand what I'm talking about. And if you try, and I know you can't do this on radio, but if you try to find for me one derogatory term about a male, toward a male, that doesn't bring either his mother into it or his genitalia into it, no, if you give me one, I'll give you $50, because I don't believe there is.
True, this is a project now, $50 here.
Yeah, not that it's a huge amount of money, but there isn't one. There is no derogatory term towards a male. There's a derogatory term towards his mother, and there's, we might talk about his genitals, but that's not derogatory. I mean, men love having their genitals talked about.
But they don't like to have that connotation placed on them, and if it's a derogatory term, and so therefore I don't.
But it's not a derogatory term. That's my point.
Well, you're saying that, but I don't believe males really do react that way. I don't like being called that.
I know it's not a case of whether
Mind
you
you, I
like
don't
it.
call that.
The reason you don't like it is because I'm attacking you with it. But I'm actually not attacking you. I'm attacking your mother by saying the word that we can't say on radio.
We used to talk. No.
Or, you know, but there are words that
Hang
would attack
on,
me.
hang on,
There are
hang
words
on,
that
hang
would
on.
attack me as a female.
Yes.
Personally, there are no words that would attack a male. Personally, the words that we use, the derogatory terms, are used outside of the male. It's not a personal thing, and I'm not a feminist. I'm a fairist. All right.
A fairist.
A fairist, and that's why I've made this up myself because it isn't fair, and it's language, and these words need to be addressed, and all it is a word, you know. But if you knew the amount of damage that word might be doing to me, you might find another word in its place. Or maybe I could give you another word.
I don't think we can mention any of these words on air,
Well, no, we're not going to
unfortunately.
mention them,
So-
but everyone knows what I'm saying. You know, I might be talking about
But-
the fact that your mother gave birth to you out of wedlock.
Oh, bastard's okay. I mean, I'm
Is that
not
right?
concerned about that, but I'm more concerned about the other relating to genitalia, which can be applied to both male and female. So I don't see where there's any...
No, that's not true. I'm sorry to jump on you. That's not true, because when I'm talking about... how the hell did we
Well,
go to
I'm
the
glad you got-
subject of genitalia? How am I going to get out of it?
I've got a listener who wants to claim the $50 first up. So what I'm going to
Okay.
do, we're going to get off genitalia straight away,
Thank you.
and we'll go to a call, Grace Knight. And I'm glad you raised the subject.
Oh,
It's 7
wish I
minutes to 11 o'clock on 2GB News Plus.
They won't be beaten on price.
The Les Thompson Talk Show on 2GB News Plus with special guest Grace Knight. Are you in trouble now, Grace? We've got Ray who wants to claim your $50. Let's see how good he is. Hello, Ray.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I just thought of a couple of words, really.
I hope they're clean. We can only put the clean ones to air.
They are clean. Yeah, they're the only ones I know.
Yep,
Cough, cough.
of course.
The first one that comes to mind was gigolo. That's a derogatory term for males only.
Hold on, Gracie. What do you think of that one?
Hi, Ray. This is Grace here. Ray, I've got to say, no, you don't get the $50 for the gigolo, and I'll tell you why. And I assume that you're using gigolo as a male version of whore or slut, okay?
Well, I wasn't going to say those words.
We can accept
I
those
think
in
they're
the context
acceptable.
of this conversation.
Now, a gigolo has connotations of a nice, very handsome, brown, maybe Italian or European man.
You're looking for a gigolo, eh?
No, I didn't say that. Who looks very sexy. He has a vibe of being very good at what he does. The connotations of a whore are quite different to being a gigolo. So gigolos are very polite, and it's also quite... Oh, sorry, I'm being so slow here. It's also quite... it's nice, kind of, for a guy to be called a gigolo.
That's your perspective. What about Ray? Would you like to be called a gigolo?
Certainly not. And I believe myself it is a derogatory term aimed at men who do that sort of thing. Most men that I know don't like that sort of a person. So if we were to call someone a gigolo, it would certainly be a derogatory term.
Now. It becomes very subjective, doesn't it? Because I'm afraid the people who would normally have that name applied to them will probably enjoy it. I'm sorry, Grace, I have to side with you on this. Sorry, Ray.
What about the second one I had in mind?
What's the second one?
Bigamist.
A bigamist. Well, that's a legal description, isn't it?
Well, it's still derogatory. I mean, she did say derogatory things.
Hang on.
She didn't say it had to be non-legal.
That's an Italian mist, isn't it? A bigamist.
Look, I don't know. I've never used bigamist as a derogatory term.
Yeah, he would
And I've
use
never-
that, except in the technical legal sense.
Well,
How many bigamists do you know, or how many men have you called a bigamist? Hello?
who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know anyone who's married more than one at a time, but it would certainly be derogatory if I did know someone and I use it against them.
Well, Ray,
But, I mean, it looks like us poor mere males are never going to win this one.
I don't think so, because the examples we can give, as I told Grace, the examples we can give we can't say on the air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it seems that a female can say the opposite to what we believe the word is. Like, oh no, that means it's nice. So we can't win. I mean,
That's why she went into this wager. She doesn't want to lose $50, Ray.
Exactly. But in my book, she's lost twice.
Yeah, but I still hold on to the cash.
Okay, good to talk to you, Ray. Thanks for that.
Oh
It's
my
not a bad try. 1.5 minutes to 11 o'clock, and we will come back and we'll talk some more with Grace Knight. We'll also hear Grace Knight sing from her CD Gracious right after the 11 o'clock news. The Les Thompson Talk Show on 2GB News Plus with our special guest, Grace Knight. Grace, I really wanted to talk about the fact that you grew out of rock and roll. The Euroglide is still, I believe, very popular and still being heard.
Yes. I mean, you can't kill good songs. You know, they were written with love, and they were very appropriate then, and they're still very appropriate now.
Yeah. Now, we've spoken about you really discovering the standards and moving more into singing jazz and blues, but let's go back to the Eurogliders for a while, because you did innovative things then too, didn't you? Like recording the debut album in Manila?
Yeah, that was done more out of lack of funds than anything else.
Was it?
And lack of studio time in Australia. It was during the time when there weren't too many studios, professional studios available. And so Manila was, the closest option.
What was that like?
Pretty horrendous.
I would think.
Actually, it was pretty horrendous. All of our eyes were open to things that, quite a lot of us hadn't seen before. And, it was...
Did you have armed guards on the studio doors?
Yes, there were guards everywhere. That was a scary thing as well, to just, sort of be standing in a shoe shop and have this man with a pseudo uniform on holding a machine gun or something.
One of those big things.
Yes, a big pointy thing.
Careful, we'll go back into the other
No.
argument.
In fact, Eurogliders became born through a meat pie commercial for Peter's Pies in Perth. Now, the funniest thing...
Peter's Pies?
Peter's Pies in Perth.
Yes.
The funny thing at the time was a friend of ours who had been offered the gig to do the commercial, which was for a lot of money at the time, which we could have done with.
Yes.
He was a vegetarian, and so Peter said, "Oh, God, we can't use you for a meat pie." Now, unbeknown to Peter's Pies, we were all vegetarians too.
But you didn't tell
For
them.
the amount of money we said, "Darling Willie, old boots." Of course, that's not what we really said.
You can be bought.
We can be bought, yes. So, we did this pie ad and became incredibly famous overnight. So that was the beginning
And
of
Fabergé picked you up from that, did they?
Fabergé picked us up after that for their jeans. And, I'm after a new car now, so it's just wait and see who's coming.
Okay, I think the car manufacturers have got that message. There'll be contact made with Grace Knight. She's appearing at the basement tonight if you want to make offers down there. But, yes, and who said she can be bought? She probably can, if you got the right car. It's 19 after 11 on 2GB News Plus, and in a moment we'll hear a little of Grace Knight as she sings.
On 2GB News Plus, you're with Les Thompson.
And Grace Knight at 21 minutes after 11 o'clock. And Grace, I read in a magazine article, I'm pretty sure, that Vince Jones, when you're doing that series Come and Spinner, he advised you not to exaggerate the style too much. Is that correct?
I said to him, "Vince, help me. Have you got any advice? Is there anything you could tell me?" And I said this to him because I just walked out of a pop career, and this was my first experience with the jazz. And he said, "Yes, I can give you some advice. Don't oversing." And that was fantastic.
What does that really mean?
What does it mean?
I didn't understand the quote.
It's like it's kind of like someone showing off in a fantastic dress. If you've got a beautiful dress on, let the dress do the work. You don't have to twirl and burl.
Right.
Let the lyrics do it, let the melody do it. Don't be over emotional, and don't, when you can just go la.
Right.
That's over singing.
At the same time,
Showing off.
Having seen you perform, you have to put a great deal of energy into these songs.
Well, they're very passionate songs.
Yeah.
They talk about very personal and private things. So they're honest. That's the only thing I can be,
Yeah.
is really honest. And they're a fantastic tool for me to recognise my own relationship. The good bits and the bad bits.
And of course there are the blues bits and there are the fun bits. I mean,
Absolutely.
it really allows you to strut your
Yeah,
stuff.
you can get so naughty with all
Yes, and it's all wrapped up in the term the ability to swing, I guess,
Yes.
which goes like this.